Okay, for the Slipknot, again I'm using a short wrap. Here it's a size 2. I can do it with a size 1. Chunkier mamas might want to use a size 3. Middle marker, holding with my little fingers, and I'm going to hold it apart whilst I gather it upwards. There you go, all the way up. Then middle marker onto my shoulder, making sure that the rails are on the outside and it's nice and easy to find them. Okay, this knot is one passive end and the other end goes round a couple of times, so you need more fabric on this side than you do on the front. So to know how much to move it, you get one hand nice and high on your back, the other one on your hip, and then you swap them like so. Okay, there you go. If you're doing it with a long wrap, it's about the same again, or you can, if it's a size 3 that you're using and you're about my weight, you might want to just get the tail off the ground. Okay. Okay, then we're going to check our top is still our top, and then we're going to gather from the bottom, nice and close to my side, making sure there's no slack from my back. So as I gather the fabric up, I pull away from my back. Okay. And then I'm going to make the pouch. I'm not going to worry too much now about the size of the pouch because I can still adjust it in a minute. Okay, then I'm going to go towards that shoulder. And the slip knot is 2 loops around a straight pass. Okay, there's one passive side. This pass is passive. So all the work is done by the other one, which does 2 loops around it. Okay, so we'll see more details in the course and hopefully you'll remember all the different ways. If you remember 2 loops around, you're probably going to be okay. So one goes in front and then you're going to loop. Okay, so you're going to go then towards the top. Okay, so that when you drop it, it holds in place. If you were to just do a loop and go under, instead of going to the top, it wouldn't hold and it would fall. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why you go around, doing a loop around it, to the top, and you drop it. Okay, if you like things to be very neat, you can already organize your fabric so it looks very neat. Okay, then if you've done one loop and you went this way, so from where I am it is anti-clockwise. So now I've got the choice for the next loop to go anti-clockwise again or clockwise. The standard knot that people know the look of is going a different way this time. So here, if I went anti-clockwise, now I need to go clockwise. Okay, so I went like this with my fabric. So this time I want to go the other side of it. So I'm going to go behind my passive end, and then this created a loop, and I'm going to put my hand through this loop and I'm going to find my pass and go through again. Okay, and there we have it. And then if you want it to look nice again, make sure it's not twisted everywhere. Okay, and then we're going to bring these 2 loops together, and then we're going to pull on both these sides. Okay, both loops are brought together and we pull on both these sides, and this is now your slip knot, which can go up, so I'm holding passive tail, pushing it all up or all down, and this changes the general size of the pouch. Okay, so here I'm going to now bring this knot just under my collarbone where it's comfortable, and I'm going to look for the size of my pouch. Well, it happens to be about right, maybe a little looser, so I'm going to pull down on the knot, and that's about right for me. Okay, so all the hips carry that we did see, the general is where the bum's going to be, then we adjust the bottom side to be smaller, so I'm going to get my bottom rail and I'm going to get it upwards Getting all that slack out, holding it up, and you don't go towards the knots this way, but towards your back. I'm going to grab the slack from here and pull all the part that's at the top, holding that top rail here, that bottom rail, sorry, and then I'm going to get my bottom rail on my shoulder. Okay, and here I'm already going to spread it a little bit on my shoulder to make my life easier later. Okay, I'm going to bring all that slack that was here is now at the top. Okay, whilst it's here, I'm going to pull it through, and there it is. It's come down. Okay, and now to make my life easier, I'm going to want my top rail to be looser again. So here I want to bring that bit of fabric through. So I want to find my top rail next to my neck. I hold the knot in place and I pull upwards just on that top rail. Okay, you might have moved the whole system and you can always readjust it. Okay. Okay, so my top is now looser, and the newer you are at carrying, the more important it is to have a very loose top to make your life easier for positioning. The more experienced you are, the more experienced you are, the less you would need this to happen, as you can correct the position easily. Okay, so now we're about ready. I put the knot where I want it to be. I've already spread onto my shoulder mostly. Here I can feel I've got a bit of a loose patch, so I'm just going to pull that bit through. There you go, by jiggling the shoulder. Okay, there it is. Okay, and then you get your baby. Again, remembering how we hold our baby from under its base. We come from under the patch and we come and find the feet. And we go for the furthest away. Okay, and again with this you can do a front, a hip or a back carry. And here I've chosen to show you the hip carry. Okay, so this is where I want it to be, and now I allow the bum drop. Okay, now that the bum has dropped, I am going to make sure that my knot is still where I want it to be. If it has moved, bear my baby's weight, and I bring the whole system as a rope where I want it to be. Okay, and when I'm happy where baby is, happy where the knot is, I drop the weight again. And we're going to need that top rail to come up, and again I find it easier to do it from the back. Okay, and here I'm going to go over the bum. Okay, as soon as I'm over the bum, this hand is here, making sure the fabric doesn't unpop from the back. There we go. Getting it all up. There you go, and here I'm going to stop here like if it were a toddler. Okay, checking the position, and here the top needs a bit of adjustment. So because we bring our slack to our back, I'm going to bring that slack to my back, hold it with my armpit, if my baby's hand is not in the way, and then I'm going to pull my neck level. Okay, with a small baby you can come around either this way if your arms are long enough, or above to find the other side of the knot. If you have a big baby, you might want to use your leg onto a chair or something to bear your baby's weight on it whilst you're doing it. Okay, so here you can also use your chin if you had to, or on your teeth if, like me, you don't mind it. Okay, then you find your passive end. To know which one it is, the one that was always vertical. So if you tend to get confused with which one it is, the one that's not in use, if you tuck it in here for a minute, then you won't get confused. Okay, so here I've got that slack, which is this one. So I'm going to hold under my knot and I'm going to pull on it whilst jiggling my shoulder. Okay, and there you have it. So here you can then move that away, or you could keep it in, or you can use it to roll again. Okay, if it was all too tight, you can push it down. Okay, if it was much too tight or much too loose to start with, you can still save it. The way to save it, so here let's say it was far too tight and I want it a lot looser. Okay, here my baby is now not with this bum where I would want it to be relatively to the fabric. So what I would want to do is to get my hands in the fabric. Okay, make sure to now position my baby where I want. The knot is where I want, and then I would reset my baby, making sure that it's nice and smooth, goes nice and high where I want it to be. Let's say now I've got my little baby, so I want more fabric. There you go, I've got more. I'll redo the seat and make sure to take all the slack fabric already to the other side of my baby. Okay, then I can drop the weight and then I can readjust. As I've readjusted slightly the bottom, I'm going to start with that. Okay, so here I'm going to start with my bottom rail in the same way and I jiggle. Okay, and then with my top rail, bring it round, hold with my armpit, grab the fabric through here, holding on with my chin and pulling it through. There you go. There you go. If you feel it's slipping, bring your knots, your loops together and pull really tight on this. Okay, and then it will be fine. Okay, and then you have it. So you have got more height. I can now use this, which I roll loosely. Very important to do it loosely. And tuck it around. Okay. Okay. So again, this is great for breastfeeding for the same reason as the other hip carry. You can get baby in whichever position, lower or cradle or rugby hold, or to the other breast if you wanted to. Okay. If your knot is too tight when you want to undo it, I would suggest that first you do just like for the simple hip, and you'd get everything onto your shoulder first, and then you can hold your baby and get this out. If you still want to loosen the whole thing whilst it was still holding, you can try to loosen the fabric a little bit. Okay, we'll see that again during the course. So here, pop it upwards and I go around my baby, up, still supporting under my baby's base, and I get my baby down. Okay, and to undo the knot, you just go around. There are loads of other ways to do this knot, and we will see them during the course. Okay, and if you need a refresher, feel free to always come back to any session.